Happy Monday, everybody. The 30th day of April 2018. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is back at it to start another exciting week of television fun, television entertainment, television information, courtesy of the guy to my left, and just plain shenanigans this week. Apple Blossom is now in its full week. We are here. We're feeling good. Dan Kuntz, Steve Hare, 3-day weekend for you, Steve. I'm jealous.
You can call it a weekend, but it was no holiday.
It was no holiday. I had a great weekend. We worked, of course, on Saturday for the Caius Fiber Youth Parade. Got it on the air.
What a fabulous parade.
Good parade, and now we got the big one coming up. In fact, we got two parades.
That's right.
This weekend, and we'll be covering them both right here live on the NCW Live channel. The Les Schwab Classy Chassis Parade is Friday night at 6:30. We'll be set up at the local tel headquarters on Grant Road. And good news. Brent Crowder from Town Nissan has agreed
sales manager
to participate
in
the process.
With Grant?
With Grant Olson. You need a card nut. You need somebody who knows what they're talking about for the Les Schwab Classic Chassis Parade on Friday, because there's no lineup. They all park at the Eastmont Community Park, and people can look at the cars and talk to the owners. It's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And then they drive down Grant Road and down Valley Mall Parkway. But they just drive it. I mean, there's no lineup, and not like the parades where you have, this is where you go, and this is your entry number, and they just get in their cars and drive down the middle of the road. So you have to ad-lib the whole thing. So I'm highly confident that Mr. Crowder, or as I call them, Mr. Crowder, will do an outstanding job on Friday night. And then Saturday,
he's got all the information you need, including the suggested manufacturer's retail price
for each car. Yeah, you should have that. Yeah. That'll be on Friday night, and then Saturday, the Stem Growers Grand Parade. Good looking weather forecast, good and just about perfect for Apple Blossom. I got no problems with it.
The parade was a fabulous, a little windy, but I'll tell you what, the flags were fluttering, the colors were all there, and
we
had a live broadcast. In fact, I was kind of taken by the comments we got on our Facebook page for our Facebook Live start of the parade, and we had a lot of people who were commenting. Like one woman said, "I have a fractured knee. This is my only opportunity to see my kids." Another person wrote in saying they were watching it from some other country online streaming. So hey, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. For all of you Wenatcheeites out there who can't make it back to the big city for Apple Blossom Weekend, watch the stuff that you love so much on our channel. So
no matter where you are, you can get a flavor of the Apple Blossom Festival.
Speaking of the Apple Blossom Festival, we'll check in with J.C. Beck. He's been doing a regular feature. He's been going to the food fair and indulging in some new gastrointestinal delight for him, and he gives it a rating. We'll have that in the news, right?
That's right. He calls it news.
Yeah.
But, you know,
it isn't.
Everybody has an opportunity to go down and enjoy the food fair.
And it's a big week for Apple Blossom, not just the parades. They got the All Service Club luncheon on Wednesday with Dan Lewis, former Como news anchor, is the keynote speaker there. They got the golf tournament. They got all kinds of things going on. Don't forget, you can fill up your tummy early Saturday morning. The annual 56th annual all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast at Triangle Park is back again.
Yeah.
You ready to do this?
Eggman.
Yes, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, I got to see if I can talk to Tom this week.
Yeah.
So we got a great show for you today. Lisa Bradshaw is back in town. From the Don't Wait Project. She also hosts, of course, Life with Lisa here on this very program. She's back in town. She's patiently waiting by, probably sitting at your desk right now.
I can't wait.
And we'll be talking to Lisa. She's got some photos and some videos. Her trip has been a resounding success. We'll talk about all the things she liked and maybe a couple of things that she didn't quite care for on her long little sojourn all over the western United States. So Lisa will be live in the studio.
Over 5,000 miles traveled, she said.
Oh, really? I haven't really had a chance to talk to her.
Well, I'm just looking at her Facebook post. And safely traveled 5,000 miles.
Yeah. Well, all of that and much more.
Hey, sports. We've got a big sports weekend, too.
Mariners went 7-3 on their road trip.
Wild.
Wild won both of their games. So it was lots going on.
Yeah, they're well on their way to the Doyle Cup now.
Yeah, they're up 2 games to none. Now they're on a long bus trip up to Edmonton. I forgot the name of the team that they're playing. I just drew a blank.
Spruce Kings.
Spruce Kings. They are a suburb, bedroom community of Edmonton, Alberta. That's a long trip on the bus. But we got highlights from Friday and Saturday night's victory coming your way as well. You ready to go around the valley?
Yeah, let's check out the view this morning. It looks a little cloudy out there.
It's not too bad. A few high clouds. One more day of fairly cool and unsettled weather. We're going to have sunshine today, Steve, but temperature's going to be a little below normal. Forecast details are coming up. That is the cross camera. Zoom back just a little bit. We've been moving it around a little bit. Sometimes you can see that little bump that sticks out at the very corner of Wenatchee Heights. Not so today, so Kat has zoomed it in just a little bit. And it looks to me, and I don't know, Steve, but it looks to me that the Columbia is a little high. as the
little,
snow melts,
yeah.
you know, and it starts all those tributaries and lakes and streams, whatever feeds into the Columbia. Looks like it's a little high, but that's what you expect for this time of the year.
Well, maybe they've stopped the spill down at the lower dams, huh?
I don't know. We'll find out. You're the news director. You're supposed to know these things.
Well, they have.
Camera 2, what are we looking at? We say good morning to
Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock.
Is that from Arundel Rock in the other direction or what?
I don't know. I don't know specifically. I don't know what that camera is, but I can tell you right there that that big brown thing in the middle is definitely Turtle Rock. So, which was named after the mighty Ninja Turtles, of course, from the early 90s. So, good morning, Turtle Rock. It's good to have you. If I remember correctly, Turtle Rock is entirely owned by the Chelan County PUD, right?
I believe so, yeah. They've got some
I'm pretty sure they do.
out there.
Camera number 3. We say good morning to, that is, don't tell me, that is Bear Mountain, or, no, I know what that is. That is, help me out, Kat. It's, okay, it is Bear Mountain.
Wapato Point.
Pointing down to Wapato Point. You can see Manson there. Beautiful view from there. So that's a new angle. We don't use that one too often. That's Bear Mountain and that Wapato Point in beautiful Lake Chelan. And we're looking at camera 4. Up comes
our favorite, Billy
Goat. Billy Goat. Looks
Great
like,
shot of Mount Kalispell there in the distance.
which is Canada. You can see Pateros, you can see Brewster, you can't see Bridgeport, it's tucked around the corner there. You can see the Methow flowing into the mighty Columbia River. So that's about, what, about 90 miles north of us, roughly?
What?
How far is Wenatchee to Pateros?
No, it's not that far.
I don't know. Well, I know Brewster's about 90 miles.
I'd say it's about maybe a 45, 50 minute drive.
I don't know, because you just drive fast. I can never keep up with you on road trips anyway. So good
We gotta
morning,
check-
Wenatchee Valley. What?
We'll have to check in with Pateros and see how they're coming along with their new sign.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
They got the money, right? They just
They
have
got
to
the
have
money. In fact, they've got the sign. It's just a matter of assembling it and putting it together, I guess.
We got to have a crew up for that.
I think so.
Absolutely. 7 minutes after the hour for the National Weather Service, your forecast. Da-da-da-da. Still a little cool, still a little unsettled. By the middle of the week is when this next ridge of high pressure is going to start rebuilding itself, and that's why things look pretty darn good for the weekend.
Loving it.
So partly to mostly sunny skies for the next few days. The sunniest, warmest day is going to be on Thursday. Thursday looks really good. Lots of sunshine, high of about 79. Partly sunny Friday, high of 77. Partly sunny as opposed to partly cloudy means more sun than clouds, but still clouds. Saturday, partly sunny, 76. Sunday, partly sunny, 76. We are going to have some clouds, but it should be dry on Saturday.
What's it saying about wind?
Wind.
For like the
10
Grand
miles,
Parade.
10 miles, 9, 7, and then none.
Good.
So
Good.
we're looking good. We're looking good on the wind. So that is your forecast from the National Weather. So I have no complaints about that.
Well,
at
they had a
all.
little weather event up in the basin between Ephrata and Moses Lake over the weekend. They had a funnel cloud.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, they had a picture of it on the National Weather Service Facebook page.
The one thing that happened here weather-wise was the winds on Friday night, which was not in the forecast. They came out of nowhere. They played havoc with our camera equipment at the Wenatchee Davis soccer game. Also, because of the high winds, the Fantastic Shows Carnival opening on Friday never opened.
Yeah,
It was just too windy for the rides, and that was not expected. It kind of came out of nowhere, those gusty winds. It is 9 minutes after the hour on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Going to take a quick 1-minute break. What happened over the weekend? The gentleman to my left will do the honors, as he always does. Steve Hare in the news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
Honda makes jets, robots, lawnmowers, motorcycles, boat motors. They're so well known and have a history of making quality machines and engines that's why we're willing to put on our automobiles a lifetime warranty. You know, some manufacturers, if they put this warranty on their vehicles, they'd lose money. Not with Honda. If you're betting against a Honda, you're a bad gambler. They're really well known for winning. My name is David Gonzalez, and I'm a product specialist at Apple Valley Honda.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
And drill team.
Well, good morning. Here's what's happening around north central Washington. First of all, as you're looking at right now, it was a windy start to the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. The blustery conditions Saturday closed down the fantastic carnival at the Town Toyota Center. However, the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade and the Pepsi-Cola Youth Day activities attracted hundreds of people to Memorial Park. As always, the pageantry was on full display going down Arando Street. Same picture you're going to see for next weekend with the Still Milk Growers Grand Parade. Now, one of the highlights of the past weekend was the funnel cake eating contest. In fact, I think we have some video from that as well. The winner was Miguel Castillo, the father of Apple Blossom Princess Sophie Castillo. Here you can see them at the stuffing their faces there with Sophie and her dad there, but he was the winner. Miguel Castillo won the funnel cake eating contest in Memorial Park. Festival continues this week with more entertainment at the main stage at Memorial Park. The All-Service Club Luncheon is slated for Wednesday at noon, and the week culminates Saturday, of course, with the Still Milk Growers Grand Parade, which, like the Youth Parade, will be broadcast live on NCW Life. In fact, the prior evening, Friday, is the Classy Chassis Parade, sponsored by Les Schwab at East Wenatchee. You can catch all of that fun and action on NCW Live's broadcast. Well, for the third time in 3 years, the NCW District Fair has hired a new manager. Current Executive Director of Bonaventure Senior Living, Carolyn Morley, will take over the post that was vacated last summer by Lonnie Rahm. Douglas County Commissioners interviewed 6 candidates since the job was posted late last year. Fair manager responsible for putting on the annual fair as well as the maintenance of the fairgrounds. Manager also is promoting the fairground facilities for other events too. Morley will get first-hand training at this year's fair from former longtime fair manager Ed Daling. Well, the Leavenworth Fire District 3 Volunteer Association hosted its second annual 10K Firefighter Challenge. Challenge started at Leavenworth Ski Hill. As you can see here, the course consisted of over 1,600 feet of uphill climb over roughly 6 miles of National Forest land. Challenge ended with an uphill sprint to the finish line at elevation 1,400 feet where the challenge started. And each of the competitors rings the bell when they get to the finish line. Each firefighter wore their personal protection fire gear in a 25-pound pack. Some challengers also carried their chainsaws or fire tools the entire challenge. Woodinville firefighter Kyle Byrne finished first place with a time of 1:08. Byrne is pictured here helping second place finisher, last year's winner Jesse Stone, remove his backpack. And Jesse, of course, was Chelan County Fire District 1. He was last year's winner. This was the first year the challenge was open to the public. Some of the public runners also dressed in colorful outfits and costumes. So that was another big event that we covered at NCW Life. Also, recently we brought you a story about the Columbia Breaks Fire Interpretive Center and their collaboration with local fire groups for training purposes. Well, we'll take a deeper look at the Fire Center and their mission in the community. Maggie Bailey, a longtime board member, explains what it's all about.
Columbia Breaks is named after these rock formations behind me that form the breaks, and that's what they call. And so we took our name, Columbia Breaks, and in the early days, the project was begun by Nancy Belt, former Forest Service employee, who had the idea of saving lookouts, and she felt like so many of them were being destroyed that part of the forest history, firefighting history, was going to be burned up or destroyed. So she wrote a grant and wrote a proposal, and money was granted for that. And so that was the beginning of the Columbia Breaks Fire Interpretive Center Foundation. And this location was chosen because it has a natural amphitheater toward the back of the property, and has a big beautiful knoll that has lots of flowers in the spring. And it was 17.5 acres, which we felt would be suitable for, you know, a multi-million-dollar interpretive center theme. So the project's been going for 30 years this year, and it's very slow growing. We're unpaid, and so all of our work is volunteer, and we started by cleaning up the trash on the property. And so things have evolved. Very conservative board. We've gotten grants from the state of Washington legislature, and have a numerous following of people.
Now, Columbia Breaks is a popular spot for local schools and families with trails and picnic space. Bailey said the board encourages the community to get more involved.
Well, we'd like to build, we have projects, and we're phasal. And so our next steps is to have a building that is enclosed to start putting in our interpretive themes, where the public can come and interact. In fact, the museum in Wenatchee is donating to our project the entire Firewise project and all their photos and all their literature, but the requirement is that we have an enclosed building. So we're talking about, I don't know, $75,000 to $100,000 for a structure that can be protective of that exhibit and be interchangeable for other exhibits. Is one way the public can help us. Come walk our site, donate, and help us realize our dreams. And we do try to publicize our activities, and we have a newsletter that goes out twice a year. And if anyone wants to be on the list, just call Dave Spees, our president. We don't have an office that's staffed right now, but Dave Spees is the president of Columbia Breaks, and he has a phone number, and we'd love to put you on our list, and they can support that way, or come out and help us clean the property every now and then, you know, and walk through it.
And again, the Columbia Breaks Fire Interpretive Center, located right off Highway 97A in the Entiat area. Also, it's now official. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill that keeps in place Grant County Airport's Terminal Radar Approach Control, also known as TRACON. In 2015, it was listed among FAA facilities nationwide for review for possible consolidation. Well, 4th District U.S. Representative Dan Newhouse said the bill protecting the facility was a matter of national safety because military facilities would lose a vital training and reserve base location.
Safeguards the Grant County International Airport's radar facility from consolidation under a military operation exemption. By doing this, it would have impaired our national safety because, as you know, military facilities then would lose a vital training and reserve base station. So I'm grateful for, again, bipartisan support from my Washington colleagues, the delegation, to include this language that preserves the radar facility in Moses Lake and ensures military readiness for our warfighters across the Pacific Northwest, as well as fostering economic benefits in Grant County. Essentially, what would have happened is, had this consolidation happened, there would be no air traffic controllers at the Grant County International Airport, which is a surprisingly busy airport. It would all have been consolidated out of Spokane to the detriment of our military readiness.
The Grant County's TRACON facility provides unique and tailored services for Fairchild Air Force Base, Joint Base Lewis McChord, U.S. Forest Service, as well as Whidbey Island Naval Air Station, the aerospace industry, and the local community. Finally, a day at the Apple Blossom Festival is not complete without a visit to the food fair at Memorial Park. That's where we caught up with NCW Life's Jay Seebeck on Friday.
Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, food review day number 2 out here at Colossus Euros, southeastern part of the park, across the way from Dippin' Dots in the Young Life booth. Okay, we get one bite, we need a rating. As always, I like to get a lot of heavy on the tzatziki sauce whenever I get a gyro. One bite. I mean, it's what you expect out of a gyro. It's got all the, you get the lamb, the tomato, the feta cheese, the tzatziki. And put this one at about a 7.6. So, Colossus gyros here in the park. Come and try them. You know, that second bite I just had right there, packed full of tzatziki. If I had that bite back there, I would have changed my rating, but the rating's final. So we're sticking with it.
Oh, Jay gets a tough job, doesn't he? The real tough assignments.
If you want to meet a real celebrity, Jay gets there 11:30 or so each weekday to sample one of the fares, and he's rating them as we go. That was from Friday, and he'll be there.
Can't lose with a gyro.
Well. No, you can't use with a gyro.
No.
So, great to go, Jay. It's got the J. Seebeck seal of approval, which, of course, for the food vendors means, well, nothing, really. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The vast majority of our news this week will be Apple Blossom related because, quite frankly, we like the festival.
Yeah.
So we really do. So watch the news with Grant. You'll like it. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. And if you missed the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade, our broadcast schedule is there as well.
Right.
It's a downloadable PDF. So if you say, hey, I want to see my kids in the parade again, it'll give you our rebroadcast schedule as well. It's all right there. It's a handy dandy little website. You can also use that as a tool to get a hold of us.
That's right. Any number of ways you can contact us for news purposes. We're always looking for news stories, issues, and topics. So do it by social media, Facebook or Twitter. You can also contact us on our website at the little tab at the top of the page there. It says Contact Us. Click it and talk to me, would you please? Let me know what's on your mind. Also, email our general news box address, news@ncwlife.com. And as always, we're looking for breaking news, folks. And if you see it happening, call us on the hotline at 888-NCWL.
23 minutes after the hour. It is fairly overcast and 46 degrees, but sunshine for the most part today. Just stay with us. High of 67, gradual warm up, little cooler, couple of clouds in the weekend, but all in all, it's going to be a gorgeous apple blossom week. First week in May starts tomorrow. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, how did the Mariners do over the weekend?
Oh, Seahawks.
How did the Wild do over the weekend?
Talk about draft picks.
And how did the Seahawks do over the weekend? Well, they didn't play.
They did great. They did great.
Sports is
they
one
got an
minute away.
Aztec now that's going to play for the Seahawks.
Steve's almost alma mater.
Yeah.
Yes, San Diego State. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Your home for the 2018 Washington State Apple Blossom Festival is the NCW Life channel. Be sure to watch the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade Saturday, April 28th, the Les Schwab Classy Chassis Parade on Friday, May 4th, and the Stem Milk Growers Grand Parade Saturday, May 5th, right here. Brought to you by Merry Maids. Relax, it's done. And by Schmidt Electric, serving the West since 1960. Your home for the 2018 Apple Blossom Festival is the NCW Life channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your stoke?
And welcome back live at Studio 3 here in downtown Wenatchee. Let's do sports. On this Monday, the Wenatchee Wild are up 2-0 in the Doyle Cup. Weekend wins over the Spruce Grove Saints at the Town Theater Center. Game 1, Friday night in Wenatchee. Wenatchee would score first in the game. They would score last in the game. It went to overtime, and when you score last in overtime, that's good. With the call, Art Checker on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Wild with it. Morton down low to Weatherby. He's in front. Shot. Save made by Kent. Score! And the Wild strike first. Weatherby stepped off the side, and I think he found himself with more room to operate with than he expected. Demon flicks at it, but it's back to the point. Shoveled over to Gainey, top of the near circle. He's in his shot, and he scores. Boy, Park thought he had it. That just tricked him. Shot by Gainey, power play goal, and we're even at a goal apiece. But I haven't seen a shift from Souter since he took that late hit. Galambus moves it over to the left side for Zach. Shot through traffic. In front, score! Lucas Vakovsky, his second goal of the playoffs, as he sweeps home the rebound. Muscled up the board slightly and held in at the left point by Brad Forrest. Forrest in, shot, and he scores! Forrest from the left circle, and Hessler got in front, was trying to set up a block, and by Demon in front for Vanderbeck. In front, Svikovsky couldn't get the shot off. Tried to curl and drag to go to the forehand and couldn't finish it off. Boy, what a great opportunity. The Wild had him dead to rights. Kent moves it over, hops over Demon's blade, then Vanderbeck shoots, he scores! That's A.J. Vanderbeck doing what A.J. Vanderbeck do. Pick the puck off the wall and rip it at the net. The Wenatchee Wild remain unbeaten on home ice, and they take a 1-game-to-none lead in the Doyle Cup Series.
Yeah, there's the reason A.J. Vanderbeck is the captain. He's been doing that all year long. He comes through the Wild up 1-0. So now it's on to game 2 on Saturday night. Both of these teams played a lot of hockey without anybody scoring a goal. The tension is mounting. The time is winding down. We finally lit the lamp. By we, I'm meaning the Wenatchee Wild once again. From Saturday night, here's your call with our checker on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Gorley loses it to Dorsey. Dorsey moves it over for Von Ungern Sternberg. He's got the step. He's in. He shoots. He scores! It's a bird. It's a plane. Nope, it's August Von Ungern Sternberg. Pick it up. Launches it ahead and then taken away by Weatherby. Weatherby with an empty net. He scores! Batted down and held in the zone, and now shoveled across for Arnold to Vanderbeck. And he puts it into the empty net. Five seconds left. Played by Hickey. He spins, tries to walk out in front, and denied at the horn by Park, who finishes the game with the shutout. The Wild remain perfect on home ice in the playoffs.
Yeah, Saturday night was the last home game of the year for the Wenatchee Wild, regardless of how far deep they go into the playoffs, the Doyle Cup, and even further if they win the Doyle Cup. Doesn't matter, they won't play any more games at the Town Toyota Center this year. They played 13 playoff games, and they won all 13 of them. Now it's the 800 or so mile journey up to Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada, where the rest of the series will take place. Game 3 tomorrow night at 6 our time. Game 4 Wednesday at 6. If they need to play Game 5, that would be Friday at 6. And Game 6 and 7, again, if necessary, would be Saturday and Sunday. All right, the Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard. From the weekend, we'll start out with baseball. Wenatchee went into the weekend in first place in the Big Nine. They leave the weekend in third place in the Big Nine. They lost to Moses Lake in both games of a doubleheader, 5-0 and 17-3. The Chiefs are now in first place. West Valley, who had a doubleheader sweep of Eisenhower over the weekend, they now move into second place. Eastmont, meanwhile, had no trouble. They swept Sunnyside at home on Friday. So Eastmont is now in fourth place, just a game behind the Panthers. Another baseball action, you see the scores on your screen. Chelan beating Brewster 7-2 on Friday. On Saturday, Kashmir swept both games from Cascade, 13-0 and 10-3. Connell got the battle of Chelan in both games of the doubleheader. Brewster beat up on Manson 8-1 and 16-1. That was baseball. Les Schwab Prep softball. Scoreboard. Moses Lake continues its dominance over the league. Not to mention the Panthers with a doubleheader sweep of Wenatchee Friday, 14-0 and 15-1. Eastmont swept its twin bill with Sunnyside, 10-0 and 20-3. And also on Friday, Cascade clobbered Kashmir. Turning to soccer on the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard. Wenatchee blanked Davis in a very windy night Friday night at Leibofta Field at the Apple Bowl, 1-0 there. Eastmont stumbled on the road. They lost to West Valley 3-1. On Saturday, Bridgeport edged Kashmir in boys soccer 3-2. Here's the prep schedule for today. It's golf. The Big Nine boys pod number 6. They're down at one of my favorite golf courses, the Apple Tree Golf Course in West Yakima. West Valley is the host team, by the way. Wenatchee and Eastmont are down south for the 10 a.m. tee time. The Big Nine girls are at the Moses Lake Country Club. It's their 6th pod of the year. They tee off at noon. How about the Mariners? Playing pretty good baseball. Good weekend series. Seattle continuing swinging their hot bats on a very chilly Sunday afternoon in Cleveland. They beat the Indians 10-4. 2 home runs by Ryan Healy, 1 each by Robinson Cano and Mitch Haniger. Former Apple Sox pitcher Marco Gonzalez got his 3rd win. He went 6 innings. He allowed just 2 runs on 6 hits. The Mariners finished their road trip 7-3. Good stuff. They're now in 2nd place in the American League West. They got the day off today. Then they will host the Oakland Athletics tomorrow night at Safeco Field. The Kings Court will be in session. And the National Football League draft concluded over the weekend. Seahawks adding to their defense in the later rounds. They drafted, of course, that running back in the 1st round. Seattle choosing defensive players with 4 of their next 8 selections. You see them all on the screen in front of you. Just in case you're curious, Wenatchee High School alum Cody O'Connell from Washington State University went undrafted over the weekend, but he has invitations from 3 National Football League teams to attend mini camps this weekend. He just has to decide which one he wants to go to. Cody O'Connell, undrafted. There you go, and that is sports. At 33 minutes after the hour, time for the obscure holiday of the day today. It doesn't get much better than this. Today is International Jazz Day. International Jazz Day, always celebrated on April 30th. Jazz is probably the only original music that actually originated here in the United States. They say it was born in New Orleans. New Orleans certainly claims to be the home of jazz, and I'm all for that. You're going to hear more about New Orleans, by the way, in just a little bit. It is a uniquely American art form. Rock and roll kind of borrowed from a lot of things. Of course, classical is European in nature. Almost all music that has a worldwide following is European in nature. The exception is jazz. And even though it is International Jazz Day and has been for about 7 or 8 years now, as we can hold our heads up high as Americans to let everybody know that jazz was born right here. And I will spend my day listening to some Duke Ellington and some Charlie Parker and some Miles Davis and some John Coltrane and some Charlie Mingus and some Art Pepper and some Chet Baker and some Bill Evans. I could go on, but we have a show to do. 34 minutes after the hour, today in history. It is April 30th. April 30th, 1789, George Washington became president. Yep, on the balcony of the original Federal Hall on Wall Street in New York City. Unfortunately, the original Federal Hall no longer exists. They tore it down, but it was on this date that George Washington took the oath of office to become the first president of the United States. The vice president, John Adams, was there, but he was already at a gig. John Adams was sworn in on April 21st, 9 days ahead of George Washington, because the Senate was in session. And the vice president is the president of the Senate. So John Adams had a 9-day head start on George Washington, who took the oath of office and became the president on this date, April 30th, 1789, in Lower Manhattan in New York City. Happy birthday, Louisiana. There you go. On April 30th, 1812, the territory of New Orleans became the state of Louisiana, the 18th state in the Union. Yes, we have fun facts about Louisiana. Louisiana is the only state that uses the term parishes. They have parishes instead of counties, the only state in the Union, but parishes and counties are the same thing. They just call them different. The state song of Louisiana, they got two of them. You Are My Sunshine and Give Me Louisiana. There's nothing wrong with two of them. And one of the more interesting facts about Louisiana, specifically New Orleans, nearly 30% of the population of New Orleans who were displaced after Hurricane Katrina never returned. Yeah, nearly 30% of the people who were displaced at the tragic hurricane in 2005 never returned to New Orleans. But we love New Orleans and we love Louisiana, who's 206 years old today. Finally, 43 years ago today, America lost a war. For the first time in our history, we knew it was coming. It was not a surprise. We knew for 4 or 5 years that the Vietnam War was a war the United States was not going to win, and it became official on this date, April 30th, 1975. Saigon fell, communist forces gained control of Saigon. The Vietnam War ended with the unconditional surrender of the South Vietnamese Army 43 years ago today. We don't have birthdays. I kid you not. I looked again. I had no celebrity birthdays that caught my eye, which is cool, because that means we have more time for two very special guests in the second half of the program. First of all, Mike Mignotti. Everyone is entitled to Mike Mignotti's opinion. That's coming up here in just a couple minutes. Don't forget Street Talk and other stuff with Mike Mignotti. He's live at 10 o'clock this morning from this very studio. So Mike Mignotti with his opinion in just a couple of minutes. And Lisa Bradshaw, she's back. The Don't Wait Project, her tour has concluded. She's back in the big city. We'll talk with Lisa live in this studio when we return. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Rugrat Nation 3-on-3 basketball tournament is May 5th from 2 to 6 at Pybus. The public is invited to watch this tournament specifically for kids grades K to 3. Pybus Art Lovers Sunday is May 6th from 10 to 4. Meet and visit local artists and watch them practice their craft. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
Tacos Chava has something new. Customers at Tacos Chava say it's the best Mexican food around. Nachos, enchiladas, tortas, ensaladas. And introducing camarones in many styles. You'll love the fresh salsa bar with so much selection. Are you ready for Tacos Chava? Find them at two great locations, the Wenatchee Valley Mall and Eniac. Tacos Chava, tan delicioso.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Don't wait till your equipment breaks. This Lennox dealer can help.
Keep your home comfort system running smoothly with regular checkups from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Get up to $1,700 in rebates or special financing.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Join me for Life with Lisa Bradshaw on NCW Life. It's not about my life, it's about yours.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on LocalTel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, do you ever notice that hearing loss is the only physical disability in which the person who is suffering from hearing loss is blamed and yelled at because of this disability? Now, think about it. Who shows disrespect to a blind person because they can't see? Who disdains the physical shortcomings of an amputee? Do we blame a person who's paralyzed from the waist down for being in a wheelchair? No, of course not. But just wait until someone's hearing starts to go, and brother, is that different? If you have to say what, come again, or huh, because you don't hear something, people get mad at you. And how much sense does that make? So, my hearing's going, and my family is insisting I get hearing aids. Ain't gonna do it, though. And you know why? Because I've heard enough. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood. It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
The GS Long Hell on Hooves Rough Stock Rodeo Friday and Saturday night, May 11th and 12th, presented by Northwest Farm Credit Services. It's a rough stock rodeo. The action starts at 6 p.m. and the rodeo starts at 7:30 p.m. Gigawatt presents Mutton Bustin' and a Mechanical Bull, and don't miss a pony ride sponsored by McDonald's. The Redeel Law Firm Mexican Dancing Horses are always a crowd favorite. For those with ice water running through their veins, it's Bull Poker, sponsored by Rimmer and Reuter. Tickets on sale now at towntoyotacenter.com.
Ready-Medi is healthcare made simple and affordable. Hi, this is Carl Lambert with Ready-Medi Integrative Clinic, and I'm here today with my friend Carrie Condata. Carrie, tell us about your experience with the Ready-Medi Clinic.
Well, it's Carrie Condata 2.0, 40 pounds lighter in just 4 months. And the fact is, it all started at Ready-Medi with their wellness model. You can do this too, but start it right at the Ready-Medi Clinic with my only provider for the last 20 years, Carl Lambert.
Hey, thank you. Ready-Medi, healthcare made simple and affordable.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
And we're back in this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. A little over 6 weeks ago, Lisa Bradshaw hooked up the trailer and headed on down the road, the Don't Wait project. And for 6 weeks, she drove all over the western United States, checked in with us every once in a while via Skype. Of course, did a couple of Life with Lisa programs. There's more to come, but she is back in the big city. And my guest is the host of Life with Lisa on this very show and the coordinator of the Don't Wait project. Lisa Bradshaw is back in the big city.
Good morning.
How are you?
It's early.
Yeah, it is early. You got to sleep in your own bed again.
Oh my gosh, sleeping in my own bed and using my own shower and facilities was really quite nice, actually.
I bet it was.
Highlight of the return, I have to say.
When did you actually get back in town? I saw you Friday night at the beer garden.
Oh, I think Wednesday of last week.
Okay.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So you got your
week.
sea legs back and everything's cool.
Yeah, I'm all okay. I'm acclimated. I was on magazine deadline from the day I got back till this morning, so now I think I'm gonna chill for a day or two and then get back at it.
How many miles did you put on the car?
5,086.
You knew that right off the top.
On my Toyota RAV. Yeah, it was that car did a great job pulling the camper, and I mean I went this Colorado 10,000 feet, so yeah.
And you've never pulled a trailer before?
No, but more importantly, I'd never backed up a trailer before. So, but and I have to say, it's probably, I've been told it was more difficult than backing up a large boat or a bigger camper because it just turns on a dime. But I tried to practice before I left, and I was told, don't bother, you're just going to have to try in each situation. And by the end of it, I could back right up to that ball and hook it up and get in and out of anywhere. So
cool.
That's good.
Did you? I think you told me because the trailer is so. It had such a beautiful automobile, and you'll have a chance to thank all of your sponsors. And the trailer was new and decked out. You said there were a couple of times on the road, especially when you're on the interstate, you forgot that you were towing something. It's easy to forget, isn't it?
Yeah, my mom had said that most important thing is just remember that you're towing something. But you know, the car is really great because it has the camera, and it actually responded to the trailer being there. So I knew I couldn't change lanes. It, you know, the camera would tell me there was something in the way. And I will have to say, even in Los Angeles traffic, everyone was really good about letting me move over if I needed, like if there was an exit I needed to get to. You know, everyone, I don't know, maybe they read the car and were extra nice to me. I'm not too sure, but I didn't have any trouble.
Well, first of all, welcome back. You brought a lot of photos and a really funny video with you. But for the uninitiated, talk about how this whole project began and why you decided to do this little 6-week sojourn.
Well, I founded the Don't Wait Project in 2011, and overall, over these years, it's become really a vehicle for storytelling, and that's part of our mission. And my son left for college in the fall, and I was feeling like I needed to kind of change up things a bit for myself, and also I feel like I've lended my story for a long time now, and I really wanted to just go out and find the stories of others. So I ended up interviewing over 50 people while I was gone. Some of them were planned, some of them, I mean, one woman I met at the outside of the Apple store when they were trying to fix my computer for 4 hours. So, you know, just some of those were the best, the less planned things, the spontaneity of it all.
Any time during the trip, my guess is if it happened at all, it was early where you're driving down the road and you're going, what did I get myself into? Yeah,
the very first week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it just kind of getting a rhythm and realizing this is the rhythm for the next 6 weeks. You know, I just feel like everything was very comfortable, and I had great accommodations and that sort of thing. There were a couple of campsites that I was supposed to stay at that I pulled in and pulled right out. I just had to trust my gut and be safe. And part of the benefit of the travels I chose is I knew someone everywhere I went. But I committed to staying in the camper, and the only time I didn't was one night when I got sick about the second weekend, and so I just needed to rest, and I slept in my friend's bed, and she in her guest room, and she made me breakfast in bed the next day, and I just kind of hunkered down. But I worked for 3 weeks straight. I didn't have a day off, whether I was driving 400 miles a day or editing footage or interviewing people or having a meet and greet event. So it was a pretty intense schedule.
How many times during the course of your travels did people have no idea? They just stopped and said, "What's with the?" Because you had the car was decked out and the trailer was decked out, so you were pretty easy to spot.
Every single day, almost every time I stopped for gas, waving on the freeway. I mean, that was the intent. So it worked.
Good. Let's show this video. This is hilarious. You're going to like this a lot. Set up this video before we play it.
So I just thought, well, I'm going to just film myself making breakfast and let everyone see. And it ended up being, 29 minutes of footage and 2 hours of editing it. And it was just a folly from the start.
The video you're going to see is not 29 minutes.
No.
Long. Lisa, let's go ahead and use the monitor here in our studio. For you folks at home, please use your televisions. Here it is.
Good morning. I am in Vancouver, Washington, and it's really chilly. It was super nice in Seattle. The whole 3 days I was there, sunny, sunny, sunny. And here I am in Vancouver, and it's cold and wet. Okay, so I'm just gonna start cooking, and I'm guessing I'm gonna edit a lot of this out because you guys don't really want to watch me cook, but I have been getting a lot of requests from people wanting to see what this camper's all about, what it can do. So, I already turned on the propane. So, it should be ready. Okay, come on. It's a little windy, but here it goes. What the heck? I smell the propane. Why isn't it lighting? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go check what's going on in the front. The line is definitely open. Well, if this darn thing would work, look, this is not my fault. This Okay. See if I can figure this out. See, I smell propane. I think, or maybe it's just all the gas from the lighter. Okay, so this is camp life so far. I can't get the stove to work. I'm sure it's me because I tested all this before I left, so I know it works. It worked very well. I checked the line. I know the tank is full. I opened the line. I don't know what else it could be, but I gotta figure it out. So anyway, I'm getting ready to Skype with the NCW Life channel. And I think Dan Kuntz is gonna air it on his morning show, maybe tomorrow or something. And then I'm going to just spend the day kind of hunkered inside and getting work done. I'm off to a bit of a late start, but it was kind of nice to sleep in, and took a real shower today. Kind of my first one all week, I hate to admit, but but whatever, it's okay. So yeah, I'll get this going, and then I'm going to turn this back on and show you that I can make it work. Okay, so I moved inside the camper to eat and work because it's cold outside, and I think I mentioned it's wet outside. So, but I got it to work. So now I'm going to eat my breakfast. It's now become lunch, and get some work done. But first attempt cooking, got it done. I feel good about that. Have a great day.
Most of us on, that was funny. Most of us on road trips, and we've all taken long road trips before, you either with some friends or family or whatever. Most of the time your diet kind of stinks because you're just on the road. Were you able to eat fairly healthily, or were you so committed to be from one place, I'm just going to pull into somebody's drive-through and be done with it?
I'm not a big drive-through person. I can say though that everywhere I went, like I said, I knew someone, so let's go to dinner, let's have drinks, and yeah, so I've got about 8 to work off, but it was worth it.
Well, and the food fair this week's probably not going to help very much either. So, photos. You brought some cool photos, and there's stories behind every one of those. We all know that lovely young lady. To start with that.
McKenna Schwab. So our very first story of the project, we picked her up at school and surprised her at Eastmont High School. And then we went to Seattle Children's, had a whole day planned for us. So we interviewed her doctors and her whole team there, and got to see all the impact she's made at Seattle Children's.
For those of you who don't know, she has a very rare disease. You can fill me in on some of the details.
Larson syndrome, and she has raised about $1 million for Seattle Children's Hospital Foundation, and she's been a patient there since she was a week old. But McKenna's amazing. She has a foundation called Max Byron Foundation, and she can raise $7,000 having a bake sale. But part of that is from our community being so generous. So.
That's the first of many photos. You want to talk about that?
He's a young man in Redding, California, who's determined to place a flag on every veteran's gravesite throughout the United States, and I believe so far he's accomplished it in maybe 9 states. So we went and honored his grandfather, and I interviewed him, and we haven't aired that yet, so that'll come later.
Wow, that's a great story there.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one.
So this is open mic night in Weaverville, California. I've always dreamed of playing the guitar. So I played, I practiced, and used, got in touch with the people who invented Chord Buddy. They were on Shark Tank years ago, and I was able to use that mechanism to play The Story by Brandi Carlile at the open mic. And that was my friend Val since 5th grade. And she and her husband are also part of the story because they sold their place in Bend and bought an RV and started over.
Good for them. I think we all have a dream of doing that.
Oh, Moab, Utah. I ziplined with this fine group of people. I'd never ziplined. I think I can zipline anything now because there were 6 rock-to-rock ziplines, and by the 4th one, it was like a 1/4 of a mile long, and I don't even know how high. But it was a safe, good time, and we also went rigging through all of those rocks. They leased 300, I think, 300 acres of that property there.
Ziplining is fun, but a little freaky the first time you do it.
So you may recognize them. That was in Malibu. Look at that view. That was the best campsite next to the one that I stayed in Grand Junction, Colorado. That was really nice too. But this is Jane Atkinson and her husband Michael Gill, and you might recognize them from House of Cards, but they pack their they stay in that Airstreamer about 3 months out of the year every year, and they live on the East Coast. So I interviewed them, and then I met them at the campsite, and we ended up having wine and a campfire, and the next day interviewed them, and they also shot a promo for me, so that'll be fun to air.
You told me a fascinating story when you were down in Malibu. Malibu is just north of one of the largest metropolitan areas in the world, in Los Angeles, California, and yet in Malibu, your cell phone wouldn't work, and there's a good reason for that.
No service. Like, you'd see people standing in one spot, and like their head, like if they got signal, they just stuck with it, because nobody wants a tower on the property.
Right, and which is cool. That's cool. It's a great big unbuilt upon place. There's no cell towers anywhere. That's my favorite photo.
That is the one I envisioned before I even, once I knew I was going to the Grand Canyon, I knew I wanted to get a picture right in front of it. And it took us some work. I had guest travelers one of the weeks, and so one of my best friends, Jessica Van Lith, was with me, and she took that picture. And we hiked the Grand Canyon that day, and it was just, I'd never seen the Grand Canyon. And it's just an amazing, majestic view, and I thought it was really fun to get that picture.
Now that we're looking at this photo, this would be a perfect time for you to thank your sponsors.
So you can see Town Toyota there on the side of the car. They sponsored the entire trip, from the camera gear to every single detail to the hitch on the back of the car. Les Schwab helped with the wrap as well as Signs Now, and then Apache Camping Center in Everett came through with the camper, and I returned that next week. So, I went into Town Toyota about a year ago, and with the one sheet that I learned is the key to getting any answer for anything. Put it all in one place, and they said yes from the start, and I presented a budget, and they said yes to that, and we had something fall through with the camper, and we figured that out with Apache Camping Center because the other sponsor hadn't come through, and so for the camper itself, and so it just, at every turn, they were supportive and kept their end of the deal, and I sure hope I kept mine too.
So you're back in town. Now what? You said you're going to chill out for a couple of days, and you have to go through a bunch of video, because if you remember when I was catching up with Lisa over the last month or so via Skype, your computer fall down, go boom.
Yeah, it was rebuilt once already, and it was going to die at some point. I was kind of relieved it died when it did. It let me slow things down a bit, and editing and all of that, I had to be near Wi-Fi to export. It was just really grueling, and so the last 10 days or so I got to kind of chill out and enjoy the company of others and take more time. But my camera worked great, so I kept filming, and now I got to get back at it. I think we'll start airing this Wednesday, the first show, the second show, the third show of the tour, and then by that fourth show by that fourth week, I'll have the footage ready for the next shows coming.
And you're going to do this again, right? You've already made plans for next year?
Yeah, I am. It'll have to change a bit. First and foremost, I think I need someone to travel with me who has camera experience and editing experience. And then they can also assist me with a lot of things. And then I also probably need something I can stand up in. And I honestly, the camper was fantastic. But if there's going to be two of us, we'll need more room. So I don't know. I saw people camping with those converted vans and some different things. I have to figure that part of it out. But most definitely, and then also I'll be traveling to places I've never been before. So having someone with me will be helpful for that.
In the minute we have left, what are some of the things that people are going to see with your new episodes about this trip? Give us a little preview.
Just some of the encounters were planned, some were spontaneous. Interviewed people about careers, about health, about relationships. All kinds of things. I think one of the biggest response so far of the shows that have aired have been the person I interviewed in Eugene, Oregon, who was very candid about her son who's mentally ill at 21 and homeless, and what that's like for a family, a really strong mom with two high-functioning kids, and then her oldest is struggling. So, just a real range, not any one specific thing. And I've said all along, hopefully in there, someone watching will find what they're looking for.
Life with Lisa airs, I drew a blank. Life with Lisa airs.
Wednesdays.
Thank you. Wednesdays.
And Fridays.
Wednesdays and Fridays with Lisa Bradshaw. It's good to have you back. It's nothing like sleeping in your own bed after a long road trip, isn't it?
No, and I think I'll probably need a nap today because this is awfully early for me.
It's early for you. It's in the middle of the day for us. Hey, tomorrow on this program, Matt Wisen will be joining me. Matt is coordinating all the volunteers who carry the banners for the Fallen Heroes entry in this Milk Growers Grand Parade. It's the emotional highlight of the parade. He needs volunteers to carry those banners. Matt Wisen will be my guest tomorrow. Everybody have a great Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.